Minecraft is a game for everyone, right? Oh god, no. Haven't you realized that you can go to hell? And have you seen some of the Minecraft videos on YouTube? And yet we're worried about community strikes. Well, with this not being for everyone, there are bound to be some scary theories about the lore in the world. And those are what we're exploring today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Minecraft Nightmare. This is the top 10 scary Minecraft theories. Let's do it. In at 10, the beginning. The achievement you get for getting to the end is the end. The one you get for killing the Wither, however, is the beginning. But most people will typically fight the Ender Dragon before the Wither, since the Wither is commonly seen as the more difficult boss, at least in Bedrock. So why would it be the beginning? Well, many Minecrafters seem to think that there is an ancient race of players that could build, mine, and do everything that the player can. However, they were wiped off the face of the planet by something, leaving us as the only remaining member of that long-forgotten species. But what could have wiped them out? What could have chased them into the end dimension? Well, some think that it's the Wither. They had summoned the Wither accidentally and weren't strong enough to defeat it, so they fled, hiding in the end dimension. But, as we know, the end portal was closed. Why? How? Obviously, someone had to stay to close the portal, and not everyone would have been able to make it to safety. That's a terrifying thing though, knowing that you're doomed. In at 9, Endermen Origin. Speaking of the beginning, how did the Endermen come to be? How did these beings get created? The simple answer is not, but the in-game answer could be a lot more sinister. Most people believe that Endermen are actually the ancient race of builders chased to the end by the Wither, and over time, evolution took hold. The only food they really had was the coarse fruits that we see, eventually bestowing these men and women with the abilities of teleportation. They grew taller to reach the fruit more easily, and they became the pitch black of the void to hide from their Ender Dragon oppressor. But why hate us? Why come after us if we look at them too much? Jealousy? Could they be mad that they had to give up everything to survive, yet here we are, thousands of years later, looking just like they used to? Or perhaps they want us for food, thinking that eating us will give them their usual powers back, like the coarse fruit gave them its powers. The Endermen are also the only other mob able to pick up or place full blocks. And I mean, even their name alludes to them being human. Endermen. Men of Ender. Men of letters. And it ain't Dragon Tyrant. When you kill the Ender Dragon, you get the achievement Free the End, which is normally seen as you being able to explore the end freely. However, what if it means something more? I mean, the Endermen did have to turn the same color as the Void in order to camouflage while the dragon flew around willy-nilly. What if that's due to the fact that he's a tyrant that forced them to become his servants? I'm sure that the end crystals weren't there from the beginning, especially because we can make them ourselves, and even re-summon the Ender Dragon after we've killed it the first time. This gives me the idea that maybe the dragon wasn't there from the start. Maybe the ancient builders fled to the end, lured the Wither in there, and summoned the dragon as a last resort. In a one-on-one fight, the Ender Dragon does end up prevailing. And Ant Venom made a video about the Ender Dragon versus 50 Withers, and the dragon still won in 1.9. So what if the dragon was summoned to save them from the Wither, but then they got stuck there, and they couldn't kill the dragon, so they had to obey it? That's pretty scary to think about. The thing that you summoned as your savior turning on you and forcing you to serve them for thousands of years? No thanks. And at 7, Illagers. The Illagers are probably one of the scariest things in this game, at least lore-wise. A version of the villagers who used black magic, attempting to control life and death itself. They got exiled because of their vile ways, and develop a grudge towards the villagers. So much so that whenever possible, they will send scouts to find and wipe out as many villages as possible. It could be why we see abandoned villages with zombie villagers inside. Pillagers have ransacked those towns and left whatever villagers were remaining to be eaten by zombies. MapHat and others also posit that perhaps these Illagers are kidnapping villagers to increase their numbers, and to do cruel experiments on, resulting in the creation of the Ravagers. Ravagers are similar to villagers, but there is no way Illagers would sacrifice their own limited numbers to create them. Ravagers are definitely also not a neutral mob, so this could all be about one thing: revenge, wiping out those who cast them aside for being different, and playing with the concept of life. And at 6, Wither Skeleton. Wither skeletons are found in nether fortresses, another structure no doubt built by ancient builders. However, where are these rare skeleton variants coming from? MapHat and others on Reddit have proposed the idea that maybe these are the bodies of fallen builders, buried in or absorbed by the soul sand that we now know has faces of screaming souls trapped inside. The skeletons left over could have been burnt from the harsh climate of the nether, or the blazes found in the very same structures. Having to fight off the reincarnated, burnt skeletons of your former family family and friends is horrific, but doing that in literal hell is a bit too much. This could be how they discovered the unique properties of soul sand, and then this leads them to accidentally summoning the Wither after too many failed attempts at bringing their lost comrades back from death. Halfway through into number 5, what are Ghasts? Ghasts, the giant floating jellyfish of the Nether. What the hell are they, really? Like giant floating jellyfish mutated due to the harsh climate of the Nether? Some other mob that's been warped due to eating warped mushrooms or netherwort? Or is it half a person after some builders had a little too much fun one night? Who knows? Okay, nobody does actually, but we can guess. They could have been formed by a squid, brought to the Nether and tested on by ancient builders. They were changed thanks to their diets of warped mushrooms, crimson root, and netherwort, and they got bigger, and thanks to the climate they developed an immunity to lava and fire. And their ink morphed into the ability to shoot fireballs from their mouths. It's gruesome and horrifying, but that's what happens when you experiment on squids in hell. At least, maybe. In at 4, Forgotten Souls. Minecraft and Minecraft Dungeons are separate games. However, aspects from one game can help in finding lore in another. Take the FNAF series, for example, one that I have talked about to death. Details from one game help make sense for details in another. And the souls from Minecraft Dungeons help give us an explanation about one of the Minecraft's deadliest mobs, the Vex. The Vex can be summoned by the Evoker, an Illager variant that only spawns in a woodland mansion or during a raid. The Vexes were always a mystery. We didn't quite know what they were, until we figured out that they're most likely souls, like what we can collect in Minecraft Dungeons. The Evokers literally have control over life and death, something that they were searching for and got banished for. And as we can see, they can do it. They have the technology, and it's showcased within the Vex. And those Vex can be mighty powerful when wielding an axe. So it's very concerning that these can just be summoned at will and can do harm. But where did these souls come from? Are they dead villagers or dead players? Who knows? Getting close to the end in at number 3, Zombie Virus. How could there possibly be a zombie virus, you may be asking? It's a simple game and nobody turns into a zombie unless it's a villager being killed by a zombie. And that would be true, unless they're found in the Nether. If you bring a piglin or a hoglin into the overworld from the Nether, within 30 seconds they will have converted into their zombie variant. Why would that be a hint towards a zombie virus? Well, they wouldn't have the immune system to fight against a virus if it was airborne in the overworld. However, after generations, everything in the overworld would become immune unless otherwise compromised, like getting killed by a zombie, or for pigs getting hit by a lightning bolt. It makes sense, and is pretty horrifying when you think about it, knowing that the difference between us and our little green friend is that we were born a few generations later. Little green friend means zombie, not anything else. Although that does remind me of like the green-eyed monster episode from the Berenstain Bears. It was like episode 10 or something. That little Grinch knockoff scared the hell out of me as a kid, okay? I could actually hardly watch that episode. I don't know why I find it scary now. Or I don't know why I find it scary. Or why I found it scary now. But ultimately, into number 2, Origins of Everything. Minecraft is an interesting game lore-wise. Like, everything we've seen had to come from somewhere. All the monsters, creatures, and buildings had to have a beginning. But what was it? One Reddit user going by the name Me suggests that the reason we have so many different monsters to fight but no other builders is because Herobrine changed them all into these mobs. Think about it. While some of these creatures like skeletons and zombies can be explained away thanks to being reanimated builders, where did the others like creepers, endermen, spiders, guardians, villagers, blazes, and more come from? Sure, we have some explanations like the idea that creepers could be plants, but then there's official Minecraft merch that shows that creepers have TNT in their bodies. So could these be ancient builders who were demolitionists or miners? Herobrine may have started as a creepypasta, but as soon as removed Herobrine was put into the patch notes of the game, he became canon. This could very well be the origin of Minecraft. And finally, in number 1, the Void. What is the Void? Well, it's fairly simple in our world. It's the bottom of the generated world that then leads to nothing. But what is it in game? Inside the game world, the Void is just an endless fall, with nothing on the other side. We somehow die for falling out of the world, but does that mean that the Void kills us? Or is it us freezing to death like in the dark void of space? Or is it suffocating us by cutting off all oxygen? Or is it just a game mechanic? If you fall out of the end, you don't land in the overworld, so it's not above anything. So what is going on? How does the Void kill us? Obviously, it seems to be a painful way to go, considering how it takes a while and we can survive it using golden apples, with a full inventory of golden apples being able to keep you alive for like 8 hours or something like that. So that would be incredibly painful, and it's honestly terrifying to think about, especially because it's possible to break bedrock thanks to glitches. So it's possible in every dimension, not just the end. That's all the time we have for today, friends. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been Showermate Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.